Let me show you how to batch convert a bunch of different file formats into JPEGs using Photoshop and the bridge. I'm currently in the bridge and I've got a bunch of different files here. I have a couple of camera raw files, they're DNG files. I have a logo Adobe Illustrator file, a couple of PSDs, and a JPEG file. And it's very common to have to eventually get all these formats into a JPEG file at some point, usually to distribute or share online. And you can do that one by opening each file into Photoshop and saving as a JPEG, but let me show you a more efficient way of doing this. I'm going to select all of these files. I'm going to hit Command A, select all the files. I'm going to go into Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor. And when I select Image Processor, it's actually going to open up Photoshop and run a script that's built into Photoshop that's going to allow me to batch process these into JPEGs. So once I hit Image Processor here, we're going to jump into Photoshop, and the Image Processor window just popped open. And it's a four-step process. There's a couple of things you can do with these files. The first thing is pretty straightforward. Select the images to be processed. And it's telling me we're going to process the files from the bridge, and it's telling me I have 6 images selected in the bridge, which is fine. Select location to save the processed images. I'm just going to keep it on my desktop. Select folder, hit desktop, hit open, and they'll go onto my desktop. And then you can save as a JPEG, a PSD, or a TIFF file. So if for some crazy reason you'd have to make a JPEG, a PSD, and a TIFF version of these images, you could turn all these on, and Photoshop would, this script would go ahead and process 3 variations of these images. But I'm just going to leave the TIFF and the PSD off for now. We're going to do JPEGs. The quality I'm going to put up to 12, which is the highest quality JPEG. It goes from 0 to 12. Another nice feature is the ability to resize. So a lot of these images could be much bigger than I need them to be. So I can go ahead and scale them down, say, we'll say like 900 by 900 pixels. What's nice about this is going to be the maximum width and height will be 900. It's not actually going to go ahead and stretch and squash the image so it fills a 900 by 900 square. That would be useless because then all your images would be distorted. This will take the maximum width, make it 900, and then the height will fall into its appropriate value, or it will take the maximum height and make that 900, and then the width would be less than 900, so the image doesn't distort. So this does not stretch or squash the image at all. It will keep the maximum either width or height at 900 pixels. So I'm going to turn on resize. And another great thing that you can do is on step number 4 here, you can run an action. You can build an action right inside of Photoshop ahead of time and then choose to run that action during step number 4 here. So a lot of times, if I'm putting photos online to be purchased, I usually like to sharpen them and brighten them to compensate for the print quality. So I'll run my MPix sharpen and brighten action that I made a while back. So you have the images selected, you're telling them where to save, you're telling it what to save as and whether or not you would like to resize the image, and if you would like, you can run an action on top of that. You hit run and just let Photoshop do all the legwork for you. A few minutes later, there'll be a JPEG folder sitting on your desktop. Open it up, and there's all those files saved as JPEGs. Okay, that's my handy dandy tip of the week.